Hello everybody, my name is Alberto, a part of Alberto Vlogs, and today I am joined by this beautiful little ball python. Her name is Noodles. And today me and her will be discussing overall ball python care, ball python husbandry, and just the overall setup. Disclaimer, all of this is personal towards me. As long as they're healthy and happy and it works for you, that's great. You don't have to do exactly what I do, but I would highly recommend it. It's a personal favorite and it works great for me and it works great for her as she's healthy and happy. And to get things kicked off and started off with, we should talk about her, of course. Her name is Noodles. I already introduced her. She's a ball python. She's normal. She doesn't have any genes on her. She's not albino or xanthic. None of that. If you're new to reptiles, you're probably thinking, what is he even talking about? You'll find out soon enough once you start getting more into them. And yeah, for the most part, ball pythons, including Noodles, are very docile. They're not going to strike at you a lot. I have my hand in front of her. She's not striking me. She's not biting me. They're very calm. They're very docile, sweet animals. There's nothing to really complain about. They're, in my opinion, the perfect snake to get if you're new to reptiles. If you want to get into reptiles, you want a snake, get a ball python or a corn snake. But ball pythons, personal favorite. I love them. They're beautiful. And one big thing about ball pythons that people do not like is their eating habits. And it's very rare. It's not common. It's not going to be like every single ball python. It's very personalized that they'll go off a feed for a couple of months, which a lot of people, especially new owners, would freak out about. You know what I mean? You buy this beautiful snake and then it doesn't eat for, let's say, like 2 months, thinking, oh my god, it's starving and stuff, it's dying. No. You probably just caught it at a bad time where they're either going through breeding season, which is the winter months, or she just doesn't want to eat. He or she does not want to eat, which is okay. As long as they're not losing weight and they're still active, they're still happy, they're just chilling, they're fine. That's one thing about ball pythons. As long as they're happy and they're chilling and they're not skinny and starving themselves, they're overweight and fat, they're fine. They're perfect. And as a good segue, we're going to go over and talk about her home, her enclosure. And to get things started off with, her enclosure, you have a beautiful 2 different hides. And this is very important because ball pythons and every single reptile, they're cold-blooded. They mean they cannot thermoregulate properly. So you need a nice, warm, hot hide. Underneath here, you can see a heat mat, which keeps it warm with temperatures varying around 95 degrees. Pops up to 100. You don't want it to be too hot. You don't want it to burn the animal, but usually something like this, like a nice little 95 degrees ambient temperature. Move over here. Around here is roughly 70 degrees, 70 to 8 to like mid 80s. This is what you typically want. You know what I mean? 2 different highs that you go back and forth from. Chill. You want like, I'd say about a 1/4 inch of substrate on the ground. You know what I mean? You don't want it so high where they gotta like dig a fucking tunnel to their hide, but you also don't want it so low where you just see constant ground. And so for another thing with ball pythons, you are gonna need water because everything needs water to live. You want a water bowl big enough where they're able to sit inside of it if they want to, because that's a big thing during sheds, is that they want to sit in their water bowl, they want to soak up extra water, and just to make sure the shed is nice and big and clean. For example, right over here, if she'll let me grab it, I have one of her sheds, which is full and complete, head to tail. Another one over there, but it kind of ripped off. Oh man, I dropped it, but that's okay. She's pretty much under arrest now. Yeah, you just want to make sure they have a nice humidity, which can be achieved if you let me get up right over here, Miss Camera Lady. Over here, I have cypress mulch, also known as forest ground. This is an amazing substrate. I cannot stress that enough. This substrate is amazing for ball pythons, especially because it holds a decent amount of moisture, so it's nice and humid. There's a good humidity contrast in her enclosure, roughly 60%, which is what you want. It's ideal. Nothing too high because that could lead to respiratory infection. But a good 60%. See, she loves it so much. She's crawling onto it. But it's nice. It holds moisture and it's also rough. So during those shed seasons, she needs to break the shed off. So she'll rub it against the ground or against her water bowl or an enclosure and she'll end up breaking it off. Oh, let me put it down, Noodles. Okay, cool. And for the most part, that's all I could really think about, unless you have any questions. Do you, Miss Camera Lady?
I do, actually. What does she eat right now?
Bologna sandwiches. No. Ball pythons. Right now she's on small rats. You want to make sure whenever you're, oh, she's keeping a hostage. Seeing right over here, you see how big that is? You want something that's roughly that big. You want slightly bigger rodents for her. You know what I mean? And I personally believe you should start your ball python off on rat pups, because that transition from mice to rats could be very difficult, and that'd be in a separate video if you guys want it to be, because that's a whole different process, and that is a whole different can of worms that you need to worry about for all reptiles, for that matter, all rodent-eating reptiles. She just currently eats large rats, or not large rats, I wish, small rats every 2 weeks. So yeah, anything else?
I don't think so.
Alrighty, then that'll be wrapping up the video. I'll be putting Noodles back in her enclosure now because I woke her up. I feel super bad. And we'll just get this beautiful little shot of her figuring out where she wants to go. She just stays very idle here. Let me just point her towards her
tree.
I'm gonna put her over here. She's long. She's roughly 2 feet right now.
Yeah, she's pretty long.
I don't know what she's doing. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna I'm gonna point her over by this direction. And there you go. You get that if you can get it.
Oh, there she goes.
Beautiful little shot of her going to her enclosure.
You can really see how long she is.
I know.
She's super long.
For the rest of the video, I want to talk about things you should get. Enclosure size, I prefer 50 gallon. 50 to 40 gallon is what they need, whether it is in a tub or it is a aquarium. I prefer tubs just because for me, humidity is a lot easier. You know what I mean? You poke a couple holes in at the bottom and the sides, and then if you could point the direction over to here once you're done with that, there's holes all up and down the lid. Ventilation reasons, obviously. But you don't want too many or it's just going to be almost obsolete. Another thing you'll need is one of these bad boys. Spray bottles save your life. They're exactly what you need to keep their humidity nice and high. And next to humidity, and as equally important if you ask me, temperature. I prefer a digital thermometer, something a quick, easy check. Over in an enclosure, I know she's going inside of a tree. Over in an enclosure, her temperature a little high right now, probably that's why she's not showing in there. They're roughly 80 to 90. Ooh, peaking 100.
Wow.
Not what I like. But over here in a tree, it's roughly 77 degrees. Nice, pretty simple. And if you come over here near her cold end, it's roughly 72 degrees. Not bad. 72 degrees. Something nice that she's able to thermoregulate in. And for the most part, that's all you really need is a temp gun, water gun, and an enclosure. Oh, before I forget, I'm not going to pull it out right now because it's too much of a hassle, but a heat mat. You will need under tank heating because as ball pythons, their stomachs are very soft. And so they need something to absorb the heat from below, not above. They're not a huge basking snake. They don't want a lamp constantly hitting them, you know what I mean? Especially for night, you know what I mean? You want something that's gonna, how to describe it? Something that's gonna keep you up and something that's gonna keep them up. And for the most part, that's mainly it. You just want to make sure that if you do get a tub, a lot of tubs are very loose. You do not want a loose tub, such as, no, not such as this one. This one's actually perfect, if you ask me, but
it's pretty good size.
You don't want something loose. You don't want something where she can escape out of, because snakes are escape artists. They'll be able to get out of something like this super easily. Not something like this, but you know what I mean? Overall, like a tub, if I were to leave this unlocked, she should be able to get out. She'd be able to push the lid off and just go off. But with it locked, she's going to have a difficult time getting out, which is what you do not want. Trust me. I've talked to a lot of snake owners, and all of them lose a snake at least once. I've lost her the first 3 days of owning her, just because I made the simple mistake of not leaving it lashed. I left it unlashed, and she found her way out and into my closet. And I believe that's all, unless you have any questions, of course.
I do not right now.
Alrighty, I will be wrapping it up then. Thank you very much for joining me today about the simple ball python care. Remember, as long as they're healthy, happy, and their sheds are nice, that's all that really matters. You could have a completely different enclosure, something polar opposite, and as long as they're just chilling, as long as they're happy and alive, that's all that matters. Thank you very much, guys. Have a great day.